Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lauren, and today I'm going to take you through an easy weekly meal prep. The later I get in my pregnancy, the less time I want to be standing on my feet in the kitchen, so I've been trying to do some small weekly meal preps at the beginning of the week, prepping some healthy fruits and veggies, getting a couple meals done, and even a sweet treat, so that way I have some easy meals on hand ready to go, and I'm not skipping meals or running out for takeout all the time. For any new friends tuning in, I did lose 80 pounds using the WW Blue Plan before getting pregnant. I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant with my second baby, and I've continued to loosely follow the WW Personal Points Plan just to help monitor my food intake, keeping a good healthy balance in my food choices, and watching my portion sizes. So for today's video, I will be sharing the WW Personal Plan points, as well as links to import the recipes, and I'll also be sharing the calorie count for anyone following a calorie deficit, which I've also done side by side with WW during times of my health journey. I have a yummy Italian pasta salad we're gonna be making for some lunches. I'm also making potato bacon soup in the Crockpot. We're gonna have this tonight, as well as have plenty of leftovers for easy lunches and some extra dinners throughout the week. It's also spring break week, so my daughter Lila is home with me all week, and one of her favorite activities is baking in the kitchen with mommy. So of course we had to make a sweet treat as well. I actually found a gingerbread cookie and cake mix I had left over from the holidays that I purchased at Trader Joe's. So we're gonna whip that up along with a homemade salted caramel frosting, because life is about balance and we don't miss out on the sweet things in life in this house. So today I'm getting started with some healthy, fresh fruit and veggie prep. I always like to prepare my fruit and veggies for the week by giving them a rinse in a bath of cool water with some plain white distilled vinegar, and then I rinse them off and let them dry fully in colanders. The veggies I will peel or chop up into good sizes for snacking on. And once everything is prepped and fully dry, I like to store them in my red produce containers. You can find the link to these in my description box below, but I find taking a few minutes to prep my fruit and veggies at the beginning of the week really helps to cut down on some prep time throughout the week for lunches and dinner sides. We reach for them way more often than other snacks from our pantry. And when I've done the prep work ahead of time, I really remember that they're in my refrigerator. Sometimes when I get home from the grocery store, if I don't prep my fruit and veggies right away, I'll tuck them into my produce drawers of my fridge and forget about them for a few days. So this makes sure that we really maximize eating up all these great healthy fruits and veggies before they go bad. They're prepped and ready to go for quick, easy snacks, and my family makes better, healthier choices throughout the week.
Are you waiting for your carrot? You are? Shake. Good girl. There you go. Sweet girl. Millie always gets first carrot.
Another way I help encourage my family to eat our prepared fresh produce throughout the week is have some dip options. So some of my favorite dips to keep on hand during the week are a healthy Greek yogurt based 0-point ranch dip, where you mix plain non-fat Greek yogurt with some ranch seasoning and use water to mix it to your right consistency. My family also loves having hummus on hand, which we usually buy in the store, but you can really easily make this at home yourself as well. And for our fruit, I also love in the summertime mixing up an easy funfetti cheesecake fruit dip. I'm gonna go ahead and link in the iCard above a couple videos that have these dip recipes in them. They're all really easy to make, they're really yummy, they store well in the fridge, and they make eating our fruits and veggies throughout the week so much easier. I don't drink coffee every day, but now that the weather's getting warmer, I love enjoying a nice cold brew on occasion. And it's so nice to have my own little cold brew system at home, so I'm not always running out for coffee. I love this cold brew coffee pitcher. It makes it so easy to make it at home. And this Busy coffee, which is specifically blended to make cold brew, is so tasty. I just add about 8 tablespoons of coarse ground Busy cold brew coffee beans into the filter, fill the rest of the pitcher with cool water, screw the filter back into the pitcher, and you let it brew in your fridge for 8 to 12 hours or at least overnight, and it makes a wonderful cold brew concentrate. I'll pour this over ice and add my favorite Chobani creamer and have a refreshing iced coffee at home. The first lunch prep up for today is going to be our Italian pasta salad. My family just loves pasta salad. I feel like I share a lot of them with you guys here on the channel, but there's so many ways to mix them up. Throw in different veggies, make your own dressing or a different flavored dressing. You can use regular pasta like I'm going to use today. You could use quinoa, mix it up and do a rice bowl or a couscous bowl. There are so many variations you can take to elevate simple, good flavors into a variety of lunch ideas that you can use for meal prep throughout the week. So for today's pasta salad, I'm using a traditional penne pasta. I'm gonna cook my pasta until just past al dente. Once it's cooked, I'm gonna strain it and then leave it to cool in the sink. And while that cools down, I'm gonna prep all of our mix-in ingredients for the pasta salad. I'm gonna chop up some low moisture, part skim mozzarella cheese into cubes, slice some grape tomatoes, dice some red onion and green bell pepper, cube up some salami. I'm using a drained can of sliced black olives, and I'm also going to be using some Ken's Zesty Italian dressing for the dressing today.
I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again, but life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, running to better times. Go, from my emotions I'll go, running to better times, 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 to better times. Remember I was laughing in all the photos that you took, but now it looks like acting, like we were fiction in a book. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, running to better times. Go, from my emotions I'll go, running to better times, 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 to better times. I look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me, nothing can stop me in the night.
Today I'm using a pre-made dressing, but you can easily do your own alteration with your own kind or a lighter version. I found 1 cup of an oil-based dressing was the perfect amount for this amount of pasta salad. The pasta as well as the other ingredients were all nice and cool by the time I added it, so it didn't get too absorbed. And after resting it in the refrigerator for a few hours, it still had a nice slippery texture. I didn't feel the need to add any more on top of that throughout the week as we had it. This one turned out so good. My husband was a big fan of it, and even my daughter liked it. I had to pull a few of the olives and onions out for her, so you never know until you try with kids. This one was a hit with the family. Next up is a lighter twist on a bacon potato soup. This came out so yummy. It was creamy and savory, a little bit salty, but at the same time, it didn't taste too heavy, which is good as the seasons have started to turn and we're having warmer weather here in Georgia. Soup is always such a great option for easy, quick lunches. It reheats well. You can transport it to work easily, which is something my husband loves about it. So I love being able to find some new soup or crockpot recipes that still work during the warmer months for us. Don't forget to check out the description box below for links to all of the recipes shared in today's video. To get this recipe started, I'm dicing up some turkey bacon, about 6 slices, that I'm then gonna add into a frying pan and cook until crispy. I did add a little bit of avocado oil spray in the bottom of this pan because turkey bacon is so lean. I wanted a little extra fat in there because I'm going to then dice up this yellow onion and add that to the frying pan as well. And I didn't want it to stick or burn. I'm not usually a huge fan of crockpot dishes where I have to cook things before adding them to the crockpot. However, I have one too many times thrown a recipe together into the crockpot with raw onion, and the onion flavor just overtakes everything if it's not cooked out ahead of time. And I want this bacon nice and crispy. So I'm cooking these ahead of time. And then once the onion has softened and is fragrant and the bacon's all cooked up, I will be adding them to the crock pot along with our other ingredients. Next, I'm weighing out about 2 pounds of potatoes, and then I'm going to rinse them well, pat them dry, and dice them into small cubes. I try to keep the dice as uniform as possible because this will help all of them cook at the same rate. None will be overly mushy, none will be overly firm. Because after the soup cooks on high for about 3 hours, I am gonna go in with a potato masher and mash down a lot of these potatoes so it's a creamier texture and not as chunky of a soup. Potatoes get added into the crock pot along with 1 box or 4 cups of chicken broth or stock. I'm also going to season everything up with some Kinder's The Blend seasoning. You guys know I use this all the time. I love that it's a 1-step seasoning. It has salt, pepper, and garlic powder in it. You can usually find it at any of your local grocery stores. I like to buy mine at Costco in a slightly bigger package. And then at this point, you're gonna set your crock pot on high, and after 3 hours, we're going to check it and see how the cook is doing. As long as all your potatoes are fork tender, you're good to move on to the next step, which is adding 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, along with a can of fat-free evaporated milk. We're gonna stir this up to make a slurry. This is gonna be the thickening agent for our soup. So we're gonna pour that right in over our potatoes and broth. Mix it in. We're also adding in 4 ounces of cream cheese and some sharp cheddar cheese. We're gonna stir that all together and let it cook down for another hour. Once everything has come together, the cream cheese and cheddar have all melted into the soup, I'm going into my potato masher. And this is where you get to adjust the recipe to your preference if you like a creamier soup versus a chunkier soup. I tried to get mine pretty creamy with just a few chunks for texture left in. Adjust any seasonings you want. And then when it comes time for serving, we're gonna put some in a bowl, add a little bit more cheddar cheese to the top and some chopped chives. This turned out super delicious, and I was so happy to have it on hand for an entire week of meal prep.
Time to bake!
I absolutely love keeping a few of these really easy boxed baking mixes from Trader Joe's on hand. That way, whenever my daughter and I feel like doing a little baking project together, I have something easy in my pantry that I can pull out. I already know I have all of the ingredients home I'm going to need. They're always super simple. And Lila loves that she can mostly bake this herself, with the exception of mommy needing to help with the oven and making sure it remains eggshell free. Anytime I'm baking and a recipe calls for oil, I do like to swap that out for plain unsweetened applesauce. This is a great 1-to-1 swap. So whatever your recipe calls for in oil, you can swap it for the same amount of unsweetened applesauce. You save yourself a bunch of calories and WW points. The recipe always ends up really moist, and it does not taste like apple. There's no flavor that comes through from the applesauce. It's just a great healthy swap that I've adopted into my everyday baking practices.
Your whisk.
Thank you.
Break up the egg. Yep. Let's mix. Good job.
Whisk, 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 whisk. Get all the egg in there.
Can you put this mix in now?
Okay.
Put the mix in.
Again, this was a seasonal mix from the holidays, but I did find a comparable recipe when I was looking for a frosting to go with this. So in the description box below, I'm linking a recipe for a similar ginger cake with salted caramel frosting that I found on Pinterest. And I'm telling you guys, this frosting is the bomb. So definitely check out the full recipe and let me know if you make the cake and how it turns out. Our cake mix goes into a 9x9 greased baking dish and is going to bake at 350 for about 35 minutes. While that was baking, I did find my easy caramel icing recipe that I mentioned. Again, this will be linked in the description box below. It was so simple, only 4 ingredients.
First step in our frosting is we gotta cook the frosting. So 1 butter in, 1 stick of butter.
Butter. Check.
1 cup of brown sugar. And since Lila's helping me, I would have started heating this already, but I haven't yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on like a medium-high heat, and we're gonna keep stirring it until it comes to a simmer all together. Then we're gonna add the milk, bring it back to a boil, and then it comes off the heat to rest for a little bit before we add the powdered sugar. Okay, do this on low heat, not medium-high heat. I was not reading the directions. We have not made this one before. I also kind of broke up the butter into some smaller pieces in there to help it melt faster because I didn't want the sugar to burn to the bottom of my pan. You need that butter melting so it's something to mix into. So once this comes to kind of like a light bubble, we're going to just let it go for like 2 minutes, but you got to still constantly stir. Make sure you don't burn it. Oh, we're making caramel, Lila. Does it look good?
Yeah.
Cake is cooling out of the oven. I stuck it with a knife to make sure it was done in the middle. I did have to check it a couple times. The box said 25 to 30 minutes at 350, but again, depending on your oven temperature, mine took more like 35 minutes. So now our last step of the caramel, I went ahead and transferred mine after I added the milk to this bowl to cool down just a little bit because I'm going to use a hand mixer to blend in the powdered sugar. And I felt like it would go all over the place if I left it in the pan. So I'm just gonna add like half at a time of my 2 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna add some more. Look at how smooth and creamy that looks. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna let our cake cool down for just a couple minutes still because I don't want this to melt. So I'm gonna let that come to room temperature and then we'll frost her up. Special little treat. Happy spring break.
Sorry guys, I got distracted with Lila and forgot to get a final shot of how our cake turned out, but it was absolutely delicious and so simple to put together. I hope you enjoyed today's meal prep. Let me know in the comments if you're excited to try any of these recipes I've shared today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Hit the subscribe so don't miss out on my next one. And until next time, bye.
But I get up,